So now we need to adjust the foot system or the bulkhead. And you may have noticed right when you got in the boat that it's pretty far down. We set it down there so that anybody can jump in the boat right away and kind of get a feel for it. But once it's yours and you start outfitting for yourself, you need to adjust the bulkhead, get it to the right position. And if you look inside, you'll see a metal strap that goes down the side of the boat in front of you. That's the bulkhead and how to adjust it. You'll see there's a bunch of holes, and all you have to do is take this wing nut off and move it in the direction that you need to move the bulkhead. You pull it back towards you, and then you just have to get it in the hole that works best for your adjustment. And what I like to do is put it on the hole there and then apply pressure with your foot, and that'll hold the strap on that screw. Then you can reapply the wing nut and tighten that down really tight, and that'll hold it in place. And that's it. You can do that adjustment right away if you only have to go a little bit. But if you have to do a more complex adjustment, it's actually better to get out of the boat because there's actually a little bit more to do. So if we're doing a more adjustment than just a couple of holes on the bulkhead, we're going to actually want to loosen those two bolts up on the very front plate up there. Those actually adjust the straps being able to move in and out so that they'll stay out wide against the side of the boat. Now loosen that just a couple of turns. Then loosen that a couple of turns. Okay. And with that loose, you'll be able to, when you adjust it back, the side straps will be able to move in and out with the hull of the boat and just fit the boat a little bit better. The next part of adjusting the bulkhead is if you have to move it pretty far, we're going to want to pay attention to a couple things. Make sure that you have the bolts in the plate itself loosened up a few turns, but then also when you start adjusting and you pull it back, you'll actually see there's an orange caution tape in there. If you have to move it back far enough that you're going to put it in one of the holes underneath that caution tape, we actually need to put a different plate on there. The different plate will take up more room and be a safer setup for you as a paddler so your foot can't slide past the bulkhead. So if you have to change to the other bulkhead plate that's in your outfitting kit, you're going to have to take the whole system out of the boat. It's not a big deal, but it helps to have a few tricks figured out to get it out of there. Take off the wing nuts. We'll take both of those off. Pull the arms off. And then you're just going to take the top of this foam wall and push it over. Then pull the bottom part out. And then you can start to work it out towards you. Once I've got it out that far, I grab these two metal arms, and you can pull it up in the center. Kind of have to manhandle it a little bit. There you go. And that'll just pop right out. And there you can see the whole system. All you gotta do is tip the bulkhead up, and you can roll it right out of the wall, and then we can exchange this plate for another one. Okay, so here's the system that came out of your boat. And what we're going to do is take the plate that was in your outfitting kit and exchange it for that smaller one so that it takes up more room. Obviously it does. The tools you're going to need are a 5/32 Allen wrench, that same number 3 screwdriver, and a 3/8 crescent wrench. And that'll all get it done pretty easily. All you do is take these two bolts out all the way. There's your arms. And then your 3/8 wrench can go on that nut there. And the Allen key, 5/32. Undo that. Put the other plate on. Insert the screw through there. I'm just holding the nut in place with the wrench there. Take your Allen key, tighten it back up. Take your Allen key, Tighten it back up. Just line those holes up. And then we'll start putting the arms back on. And the actual arms themselves are threaded, so the bolt just goes straight into that. Washer and a bolt. Insert it into that threaded hole and get it started there. There. Another one in place. And don't tighten them down all the way, because this will help you kind of adjust it once you get it into the boat. So there, we've got the B plate in place, and now we're ready to put it back into the boat. Alright, okay, so we're going to put this back in. Just reverse what you did before. You can just slide that in. Flip it up, and that'll get you in position. And then what I actually like to do, makes it a little bit easier, is just take a little water. This will just help it slide into place a little better. Put it top and bottom. Windex works wonders for this because it makes it a little slicker even, and then it evaporates. All you do is put this in place. When you get to that tight part, I'll actually jump on the back of the boat, use my foot, pop it right in place. And now you just reapply the wing nuts wherever you want to adjust that bulkhead, and you're set. In your outfitting kit, you'll also get some foot foam that goes on the bulkhead, and it's made to fit up in the boat. It's got small perforations all the way around, so you can adjust the size to wherever your bulkhead is adjusted. If you're way up in the front, you'll use a pretty small portion of this. If you're way back towards you, you may use the whole thing. But you can actually pull pieces off of the foam pad just by breaking into that perforation. It kind of gives you an easy way to trim a little bit off. And I recommend you just start with a little bit. You know, if you feel like you need to make it a little smaller, start with taking just some off. You can look in, see where it's kind of tight, you know, once you try it in there, and figure out where you want to take some off. I'll usually just take off a little bit, because I usually can use most of it. And then, to get it in there, you've got to move the bulkhead all the way forward. Then take this foam piece, and you're going to put it in there flat. Slide it up along there, and then into the slot where the bulkhead is. You can pull it around that corner like that, and then start flipping it up and push it back into place. Then you got a pad on your bulkhead.